Today on Monkey Life, the park bids a sad farewell to its first hand-reared woolly monkey.
Sad to see them go, but happy for them.
A new look for golden-cheeked gibbon youngster Tio.
It will take him another few months and then he'll be a gorgeous little black boy like his dad.
And the Marmoset mums show off their babies.
The twins look really identical. Hopefully as they grow up and get a bit older and their features all develop, we'll be able to tell them apart a little bit better.
Monkey World in Dorset is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and neglected primates from all over the world.
The monkey's got really aggressive and has started self-mutilating.
The park is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes from 19 different species. And the aim is to give them all a safe home and a secure future. It's very early morning at Monkey World and the start of an emotional day. Alison and the team are here before daybreak, preparing to wave goodbye to two of the park's much-loved woolly monkeys.
We're preparing for Julio and Diego to leave for France. It's a really nervous time and it's a really emotional time for everyone. You know, it's obviously a big deal, especially for the people that have been involved in the rearing of Julio and Diego and obviously all the staff that have worked with them on a daily basis.
It's rare for any primate to leave once they have a home here.
We're a rescue centre, a sanctuary for lifetime care. But with 3 species that we breed actively, the golden sheep gibbons, the orangutans, and in this instance, the woolly monkeys, if we're doing our job correctly and actually learning how to reproduce these in a good and healthy way, then they're going to have to branch out from their family groups. That's just a fact of life.
After months of planning, Julio and Diego are moving to a primate centre in France that also breeds woolly monkeys as part of the European Programme for Endangered Species.
I think we've got everything sorted to make the journey as comfortable and easygoing on them as possible, but of course it's a big wrench and all in one day for 2 little guys who have grown up here all of their lives.
As well as being parted from their woolly group, they'll also be leaving behind a broken-hearted human family. Both 6-year-old Julio and his younger brother Diego were hand-reared by Alison and the team from day one.
Julio especially was just so pathetic and premature when he was born. They're just lovely little boys, so sad to see them go, but happy for them.
At Vallée des Singes, or Valley of the Monkeys, 500 kilometres southwest of Paris, Julio will take on leadership of his own group, with Diego in place as his friend and second in charge. It's a fantastic opportunity for them. But first, they have to get through their first long car trip.
Other side.
Just a final farewell.
Hey, little man. You good boy?
Apart from Alan and Sandra, who'll be travelling with the boys, it's the last that most of the team will ever see of them.
Good boy. Nice trip. Sweetheart. You look after him.
I will.
The sound of the golden-cheeked gibbons singing in the trees is echoing around the park. Tio, the youngest member of the group, is now 17 months old, and he's looking very different. All golden-cheeked gibbons are born blonde, just like Mum Peanut. Tio remained that colour for 6 months, but gradually he's taking on the likeness of handsome dad Peng Yo.
He is actually going through his colour change, so he's about halfway through it at the moment. So he looks a bit scruffy. Some of his hair is blonde still and some is black, but it will take him another few months and then he'll be a gorgeous little black boy like his dad.
All adult males have the same markings, and at 7 years old, big brother Tien looks just like his old man. Female golden-cheeked gibbons are the only primates to have 2 colour changes in their lifetime. Tia Nang, Tio's 4-year-old sister, will return to being as blonde as Mum Peanut when she reaches maturity. Baby Tio's lucky to be growing up in a strong family group.
You know, he's got the best of every aspect of the world. He's got his mum who lets him have all the freedom, but he's there straight away if any of his big brother or sister is a bit too rough or if he gets a bit scared. She's confident enough to let him climb around in the trees and have as much independence as he needs to burn off all that excess energy, but at the same time she's always keeping a close eye on him and his perfect mum, really.
He's still perfecting his Gibbon skills.
He will go to the very highest points of the branches. He is still a little bit uncoordinated sometimes. That will develop with time, obviously. He will get stronger, he will get more coordinated, he will be a lot more agile and faster than he is at the moment as well.
It'll be years before he can match his dad's manoeuvres.
Pungyo is a very graceful and agile gibbon. Watching him in the trees is something special. He really is very, very beautiful to watch.
But bringing up 3 children has meant Mum isn't looking quite so splendid.
Peanut, she has been a mum now for 7 years. She's basically had a baby on her all that time. And the babies will stay on her quite a lot of time up until they're 2.5 years old. And that's quite a heavy weight to be carrying around. And I think that's just taken its toll on her slightly. She has lost a bit of hair and she's got some sort of scruffy patches on her as well. But she's such a really good mum and she's very well balanced and happy individual. So I don't think we should be too concerned about her at the moment.
For now, the whole family is making the most of life on high.
I think pretty much this is one of the wildest settings that you could give to a gibbon family in a captive environment like this. They have got these beautiful trees, they can go up there, they can move around the way that they actually would naturally, and they can also sing to the other gibbons at the top of the park as well, which is again a very natural behaviour for them. So definitely a fantastic area for them, and they've got a really good life.
Woolly monkeys Julio and Diego are embarking on the challenge of a new life at Vallée des Singes, a primate centre in France over 1,000 kilometres away. Sandra will take care of the 2 boys on their long journey.
I can see Julio from here and I can see Diego just through here, and it's really important that I'm able to see both of them just so that I can keep an eye on them. And both are fine at the moment. Diego's still a bit sleepy.
Having taken a light sedative, both Julio and Diego are calm, but it's a frightening experience for them leaving the park, and woolly monkeys can suffer badly from stress. 2 hours into the journey, and so far, so good.
Just be checking that the boys are okay. There's no panicking going on, that they're both nice and alert and that they're not freaking out at anything. Trying to keep them hydrated, obviously. It's going to be quite warm in the car. We're going to try and keep it quite warm for them. They don't get too cold, but we need to try and make sure that they get enough fluids on board as well. So we've got lots of nice drinks for them. And also giving them a few treats, make sure they don't get too hungry.
"12 hours later, everyone's feeling the strain and looking forward to a good night's sleep as they finally reach their destination in the early hours of the morning.
Boys, you are home.
Vallée des Singes curator Jean-Pascal and keeper Alex are keen to meet their new residents, and they waste no time in getting them inside. The plan is to let Julio and Diego settle down and rest in a bedroom overnight before they're introduced to their new family.
You right, Julio?
With new smells and different faces to take in, it's a bit daunting, and this is the first time in his life Julio has been in any other park than Monkey World.
Can we put your brother in? Diego! No! Come on then! Maybe if you let Julio in with them? Yeah.
It's important to keep the boys together to support each other, And once the slide is opened, Diego makes straight for his big brother who's come through to find him.
Here he comes. Hi!
They're both soon chatting away with the girls next door.
It's very good chatting, yeah. It's basically just lots of little contact calls and also nice little trills as well, which sounds like the girls are quite happy to finally get some boys with them. A little bit of alarm calling from Julio, but that's to be expected. He's in a brand new environment. So, yeah, apart from that, all very, very positive.
It's a new start for Julio and Diego, but Sandra knows she'll soon have to hand over the care of the two boys.
Hi! Very long day. Glad it's all over and glad that they're in their new home, and yeah, they look really happy, so a bit emotional for me to see them in here, but yeah, really glad.
After their long travel day, woolly monkeys Julio and Diego are taking it easy in their new home at Vallée des Singes in France. They're able to talk to Pichua and Kimbana, the woolly ladies next door, who will be their new family along with Kimbana's tiny baby. But they can't get near to them yet.
Julio certainly looks as if he's had a settled night. I think Diego's still a bit worried about what's going on, but the keepers tell us that they have eaten really well this morning, so they have settled in. It's just going to take Diego a bit longer just to find his feet, I think.
Diego's feeling the strain of the long journey and the strange surroundings more than big brother Julio.
Looks actually okay. He's not horrific looking. He's just anxious, I think, to see what else is going on instead of just this little room that he's in at the moment.
The bedrooms are linked by overhead tunnels, so they decide to open them up to give the boys a much bigger area.
Now that Diego's been given a little bit of space, he does look as if he's calmed down slightly.
Sandra's impressed with what she's seen of the Mademoiselles so far.
The girls are beautiful. The youngest one is actually very like Diego, both in looks and in personality, so I think they'll get on fabulously. Diego plays exactly like that. Okay. Diego does the same thing, so I think they're going to have lots and lots of fun.
And 3-year-old Pichua should remind Sandra of another face at Monkey World.
He's the daughter of Chippy.
This is Chippy's daughter.
Ah, wow.
It's why she's beautiful. Like this?
Yeah.
The next stage is to introduce Julio and Diego to the girls.
Yeah. It's too hot, we can open here and give more.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Yeah.
When the doors are opened, curiosity soon gets the better of the girls, and dominant female Kimbana with her new baby leads the way to the newcomers. Diego heads for the security of his now familiar windowsill. But Julio's playing it cool, maintaining his dominant position on high. Kimbana seems already fascinated by this handsome, confident guy. And she's definitely caught his eye. When she moves onto the windowsill, Diego decides it's time for him to get up close and personal.
Who's that, Diego? Diego, as expected, has tried to be the icebreaker and is trying to go up and talk to them. It's just a bit of circling around each other, just getting to know each other a bit. But it should all settle down. I mean, it's certainly nothing negative, it's all positive so far.
It's a good start, but it remains to be seen if the ladies will accept their English suitors.
It's just a bit quiet at the moment, so we're just going to back off a little bit at the moment and leave them while we go have some lunch, and we'll see how they've gotten on when we get back.
At Monkey World, the Marmosets are settling into their brand new housing complex. Nearly all the park's marmosets come from the pet trade, but the problem is so big and space at the park so tight that they're only able to help a fraction of those in need. 5 months ago, Alison was called in by the RSPCA and West Midlands Police to rescue Lucky, Gizmo, Bubble and Squeak from a house in Stourbridge. Their owner was prosecuted for cruelty.
Hi guys! Gizmo, do you want another one?
But 15 weeks after arriving, both females Lucky and Squeak unexpectedly gave birth on the same day, and 3 new baby marmosets were added to the park's already bulging population. Since then, the builders have been in and a smart new marmoset house has been created. This will provide space for more ill-treated primates in need of rescue. It's the bee's knees in accommodation with every marmoset need catered for.
We just got to the point where we needed a new facility. So we built this marmoset complex. It's amazing. It's got 14 bedrooms with 7 outside enclosures. So it's fit to rescue any more marmosets.
Bubble and Squeak, along with baby boy Rio, were the first to move out of the old house into this very desirable residence. Lucky, Gizmo and twin girls Chica and Chuva moved in nearby.
Where they were, it was only really temporary. It wasn't ideal. They didn't have any outside access, which is really important for the adults and the babies as well. It's really important for them so they can get the natural sunlight.
The infants are now 5 weeks old.
The twins look really identical. Hopefully as they grow up and get a bit older and their features all develop, we'll be able to tell them apart a little bit better. One's got white ear tufts a bit sooner than the others, so that's how we tell them apart at the moment.
In both families, Mum and Dad are sharing the child rearing.
We're seeing them come off of their parents a lot more, but they are still very dependent on their parents. They use them for food still, and you know, just for security as well. And to think that there's marmosets out there being sold at this young age, but clearly we can now see that they still really need their parents there.
Marmosets taken from their mums and dads at an early age never get the chance to develop properly.
In the pet trade, they come with all sorts of social issues. They just don't know how to behave like normal marmosets. And already these are showing more natural behaviours than some of the marmosets that we've got at maybe 1 or 2 years old, because they're learning it from their parents.
Rio, Chica and Chuva will have a home for life at the park and as much time as they need to mature in as natural a way as possible. At Vallée des Singes, while woolly monkeys Julio and Diego get to know their new French family, Sandra and Alan are taking the opportunity to get a look at some of the boys' neighbours. Julio and Diego will be joining 350 other monkeys and apes in the 15-hectare park, including many vulnerable and endangered species. Some more familiar than others. But it looks like Julio and Diego will be part of a healthy, happy crew, and Sandra has no concerns about the life they'll lead here.
This area is where the boys will be going outside. Eventually this is going to be their outside area. It's a nice little island and actually very similar in size and composition to the enclosure they had at Monkey World, so I'm sure they're going to love it.
Both boys are settling in well with their new family.
Julio is in with the girls, playing in the massive playroom they've got inside the house. Diego's still being a bit quiet, so I think it's just going to take him a couple more days just to get used to his surroundings and all these new things around him. So really quite pleased with how it's all gone. Usually Diego is the more outgoing character of the 2 boys, and Julio is the one who will take the back seat. But we've actually found Julio step up to the mark and take over and actually show that he's going to be the man in charge of the group. He's really owning that enclosure in there, and it's really fantastic to see that.
Park curator Jean Pascal is delighted to welcome the boys who have a big role to play in the future of his woolly monkeys.
It was important for us to have a new breeding male, and for the breeding program, Julio was the best male for our females. The introduction was very quick, and Julio and Diego seem to be gentle males, so I think it will be okay.
There's just one thing left to do.
To have to say goodbye to two of our babies it's very difficult. We know it has to be done. It's for the greater good of the breeding programme, but yeah, that's not something I'm looking forward to, but we know it's just part of it, so yeah.
As a new life begins for Julio and Diego, Sandra knows that she will no longer be a daily part of it. One last look, and then it's time to bid farewell and head for home with just 2 empty crates. Next time on Monkey Life, there's a whole lot of shaking going on with Butch's chimpanzees.
They seem to be really excited. There's lots of screaming going on.
And will the spider monkeys finally make it to the great outdoors?
We want them to come out and enjoy themselves and swing about like spider monkeys should be.